Hello, this is the AUS Rugby scene on 89 Rugby, and in the guest chair for the next episode of the new Aussie Focus show from Sean Maloney. It is from Sean Maloney. That's a great start. From Stan Sport, it's wonderful to welcome back Sean Maloney. Hello, mate. Happy New Year. How are you?
To you and to the listeners as well. What's doing with that production music? We have to revamp the production music on the opener before we get to episode 3, 4, and beyond.
I'll take that as a comment.
No question, just straight comment.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of it. Hey, mate, so good to be with you, and so good that you're continuing to roll out what has become a mainstay and a staple for so many Aussie rugby fans and fans the rugby world over. And I must say, I'm very sorry to the big fella, Mr. H. Jones, has slipped into other adventures, but I'm glad you're continuing on with it, and I'm glad it was an amicable end as well.
It was. No, very, very much so. Very much so. In fact, we were in contact because when we set up, it was like, all right, you do that, I do that, you do that, you. And so when we come to the end of it, we sort of went, oh Jesus, we probably should transfer all that to you now. And I mean, I don't know if you've ever had tried and transfer a YouTube channel, mate, but holy moly, that was a bit of fun for a few weeks. Anyway, we're all on board and we're all good. And so this obviously is the next evolution of the 8-9 combo. Harry's departures sort of means that the combo has made way, and I get a whole host of guest hosts each week rather than a permanent co-host, and that's fantastic. And that extends to this new show too, the Aus Rugby Scene, new weekly show that applies the same 8-9 style and format to a more local focus down this part of the rugby world. So thank you, mate, for climbing into the chair with me with this week. And I think we just get straight into Here's Cheers, which is continuing for 2026. What are you cheering around the rugby world from this last weekend, mate?
Well, look, my cheers is very short and sharp. And I know that Harry used to go on these long, what the word? Soliloquy?
Yes.
He's obviously a great wordsmith, but I mean, he'd be going for 5, 10, 15, 25 minutes. Sometimes the whole show was just his cheers. Mine is short, mine is sharp, mine is simple. And it's the Aussie men's sevens team who took down New Zealand, the number 2 seeds in Perth twice last weekend. Our Aussie girls get a lot of plaudits, rightfully. However, our men were really good, knocking over the Kiwis a couple of times over there in the Golden West, thanks to some really handy young players coming through, mate. I'm so excited about Aiden Ekanika is the correct pronunciation, the 20-year-old, Wallace Charlie, 19-year-old, and then you've sprinkling the old fellas like Henry Hutchison and Joshy Turner and the rest of them. So big weekend for the Aussie men over in Perth.
Yeah, Jared McLeod got a run for them over there in Perth, didn't he, as well? The Brumbies centre with big raps. That's a good shout. I like that. I'm just going to say cheers for the start of another year and all the fun that comes with round one. And it's like we're going to see players in new jerseys this weekend. You know, Carter Gordon for Queensland, Tane Edmund in Brumbies colours, Geordie Barrett will be back for the Hurricanes. Well, next week they've got the bye this weekend, obviously. Everyone's currently unbeaten, mate. Hope springs eternal, etc., etc.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Year.
It's really good. Hey, I know that you have an eye on our rugby colleagues, the social media the world over, and here in Australia and New Zealand as well. And I saw a great little piece from Ella Ferguson, who does some terrific stuff over there in NZ, like flies the flag strongly. And she made the comment last week. You know, everyone says, "Oh, the season's starting too early," and the rest of it. She went back and got the dates, the actual dates for every opening round going back to like 2005. And there's been other years where the season started earlier than when we are this weekend. So it's not too early. It's right on time. And again, it looks like being one of the closest competitions in years.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you've only got to go back 5 years, or actually maybe I need to rethink that. Maybe it was actually the COVID year, 2019 or 2020. The first weekend, the first game of the season was 31st of January. I can absolutely
there you go.
Remember. Yeah, absolutely remember.
The right time is right now, I reckon. Let's get into it.
Absolutely. So the great rugby chats continue for 2026 in just a second, but a quick reminder to subscribe wherever you're watching or listening. Hit the YouTube button down there, little red button down there in the corner. And if you're listening on any of the pod platforms, then you know what to do by now. You've been doing this for long enough. Hit subscribe, turn the notifications on, and you don't miss any of this good stuff.
Now that I've sprayed it, you can't unhear it, can you?
No, I can't.
I can't unhear it.
No. I'm gonna try and play more stings, more than I've ever played this week. Super Rugby Pacific in 2026, round 1, mate. What are you most excited about? What have you most been looking forward to? What do you dread a little bit in the week leading into round 1?
Well, let's start with. Well, I'll tell you what I'm excited about. It's a marquee matchup to get us rolling. And we had Reds Tars, man. I'll go back probably 4 years in Brizzy, but the teams weren't that evenly matched. And you look at what we've got lined up for Friday night in Sydney, and both those sides are so tightly bound with the teams that have been selected. The bookies can't really separate the two of them. So we have got, I think, a beautiful season opener inbound at the SFS. I reckon it's going to be an absolute screamer in Sydney.
Yeah, I think you're right. I was looking at that thinking, this is the game that Queensland just start making their statement, and then they name their team, and holy moly, their injury list is as long as your arm. So that it really is. And I just wonder as well, and I know that you will have had your eyes on each of the trial games leading up to the season proper starting, but I can't, man, I've lost track of where I've been in recent times, but I wasn't entirely crossed, but I'm right in saying that New South Wales gave Queensland a touch-up at Ballymore, didn't they, on the way in? They did. Yeah, they led, I'll say 27 or 29 nil or something like that, like after half an hour. Although I think 2 of those 3 tries were against the run of play. There might have been an intercept or something like that in there. But and Queensland deep on attack, suddenly they turn it over and New South Wales go the other way. So yeah, it looked like a bit of a blowout early on, and the last hour was pretty close. But yeah, I mean, they haven't been short of points. New South Wales in their trial, they ran up 50 against the Brumbies. I mean, the Brumbies had 48 of their own, and don't we love 98-point trial games? Maybe a defensive coach in January, mate.
The kids must have loved it. They played that at a school, didn't they?
At Morris College, yeah, they did.
Yeah, good little turnout. The kids loved it.
Absolutely, yeah. It's pens down at lunchtime, boys. Out to watch the rugby. I like the shout. I think Tars and the Reds will be fairly closely matched. I'll be curious to see how Crusaders Highlanders starts before that, because the Highlanders are without a few as well. Crusaders notorious slow starters as well. So yeah, could be anything. Have you got all your preps done? Are you ready to go for Friday night, mate?
Ready to go. Very much ready to go. We've obviously seen a lot of these guys in recent times, and a lot of them emerge as test quality and international stars now as well. And we get to see them do their thing as well on Friday night. So yeah, mate, ready to go. Like absolutely pumped. Which is your match of the round? Is it the Tars Reds, or are you going to save it for Force Brumbies?
Let's get straight into it.
What do you got going? Let's get into it.
Yeah. So I think you're right. Tars Reds is going to be a decent matchup. Blues Chiefs could be anything. I wonder about the Blues this year. I do. Even Drew and Moana on Saturday afternoon at Churchill Park could be anything as well. But yeah, I think Tars Reds, because of the Reds injury list, and that sort of closes the gap down a bit, I think, between them. I think that's going to be a cracking starter.
Hey, you know what? Like, great scheduling, Jack and the crew at Super Rugby Pacific, because they're all really narrow games in terms of expected result, and they're all derby matches too. So a big hat tip to those boys for bringing those together. You're right, the Blues Chiefs one. They've got a name for it. It's the Battle of the
Bombays,
something like that.
Yeah, the Battle of the Bombays.
Is that the road?
It's the
It's just
Bombay
the Battle of
Hills.
Bombays.
Yeah,
That's right.
the
There's a
Bombay
road
Hills.
there that connects the two of them as well. Yeah, Ballaway boys. That'll be an absolute beauty. The Blues and the
Yeah.
Chiefs. And I just wonder. You'll have seen that Chiefs team and the depth they've got there, and how the season ended in 2025. I reckon they're going to come out throwing a few on the weekend.
Yes. I feel like we're going to see a lot of the Chiefs still stinging from 2025 this year. But they probably need to as well, because they're certainly going to start favourites this year. But were they favourites for most of last year as well? Maybe.
Yeah, they were. They would have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were. You're right. They were. I think it was
Yeah.
Chiefs and Blues, and then the Crusaders were a fair way down the third or fourth pick, I think. So,
Yeah, I think you're right.
they're favourites this year. They're expected to take the whole lot.
What's the narrative you've been looking forward to ripping into the year?
Oh, good question. Narrative. What's the narrative I've been looking forward to this year? Well, you know what it is, and you know this as well as any long-suffering Aussie rugby fan. The narrative has to be around one of our freaking teams going all the way through to the grand final. Like, this has got to be the year, doesn't it? 2014, the last time. Am I right in saying that? 2014, the last time an Aussie team won through to the final, and obviously the Tars beat the Crusaders there. Previous to that was Brumbies made final against Chiefs in 13, I think, didn't they, under Jake White? Yeah, they went close that night too in 13,
awfully close,
and very, very close. And previous to that was obviously the Reds taking down the Crusaders in Brizzy. So, mate, like, come on, like 12 years, that ain't cool. So I think the narrative around just one of the Aussie sides blasting it through all the way into the final game of the year, that's what it has to hinge on.
That's we're putting it down now. This has to be our year.
I don't care who it is.
No. I
don't care who it is.
No. Pick one.
But someone has got to aim up and give it a good shake and go all the way through. So I reckon that's the narrative. And the other thing as well, mate, I reckon we're in for some more tight games. Like, how good were the opening 4 to 5 weeks last year, where we had the Force take down the Brumbies in Canberra first time? It was that 5,000 days. All these little upsets, bing, 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 on the way through. Most of the games, as you'll remember, last year were decided inside the final 5 minutes. So they went deep in terms of being cliffhangers. So I reckon we get more of that again this year. I reckon we do. What have you got your eyes on? What do you think it's going to play out?
I wrote something earlier this week. I pulled the old predictions out again on for 8-9 Rugby on Substack, and I sort of said it feels to me like the top 4 feel about right, and I said Crusaders, Chiefs, Reds, Hurricanes in there, and then Highlanders and Moana we've got a few concerns about, so let's just pop them down the bottom, and in the middle is going to be the other. What are we up to? 7 teams? 7?
Yep.
5.
Yep.
And they're going to do that all year and take points off each other. And, there'll be a few upsets here and there. But, I sort of feel like, 5, 6, even 4, 5, 6 on the table, the ladder is going to be really, really hotly contested this year.
Do you also feel, let me ask you this, with the announcement of the World Cup schedule last week, which kind of drives it home that Australia's going to be hosting in 2027, are you also now looking at Super Rugby? And obviously, you and I are both laser focused on Super Rugby, and we'll pump it up and we'll go bananas for it for the next 16 or 17 weeks. But are you also is that sort of sitting in the back of your head a little bit as well?
Yeah.
Just opening round Perth 2027, and I know we're going to have another full season of Super Rugby next year, but is that bubbling away in the back for you?
I reckon you're right. Now that we're inside 2 years, everything is going to have a Rugby World Cup frame around it. So insert player here has an absolute stormer, and the headline will be, or the intro will be, has absolutely put himself in World Cup calculations. So, and we don't pick World Cup squads 18 months out. Of course we don't. But
no,
that's what we're going to be talking about.
But I tell you what, like when the Lions dates were announced and locked in, that's what happened in the Northern Hemisphere. Like every
Yeah.
week,
Yep.
they were back and forthing from at least
Yep.
18 months out. And
Yep.
I know some of my colleagues at Niners Stand hate it when we what's the word, prophesize
Yes.
how some of those selections might go. And I totally understand why they're reluctant to do it. But the reality is that's what's going to happen
It's
basically
going to
from
happen.
this Friday night onwards.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If we're already talking about Angus Crichton playing at the Rugby World Cup, then we can absolutely talk about actual current rugby players playing at the Rugby World Cup. Surely.
There you go. So there's another line of narration, or there's another narrative we can follow through 2026.
Yeah, just in another sport. Just in another sport. I did hats off to Jamie Panderam in the News Corp papers this week, who said that Mark Nawaqanitawase and Angus Crichton could become the first players to win an NRL premiership and a Rugby World Cup in consecutive years, as if that's some kind of measurable thing.
Yeah. Oh, that's good from Panda. That is very good from Panda. And I tell you what, I mean, they'd obviously be the first, obviously, to ever have done it. But can you imagine how hard that would be to do going forward as well? I mean, it'd almost be impossible to nail. Well, there might be a record that stands the rest of the test of time forever and ever. Very good, Panda. I rate that.
This thing that we've just made up this week is going to stand forever.
Yeah. Well played, Panda. He's right too.
It's good. Give me a couple of names. Who's a couple of names that you've been thinking about over the off season, over the new year? You've had a lovely break. You've been off watching sevens and calling sevens games in most of the Southern Hemisphere, by the sounds of it. But what's been the few names popping up in the back of your mind saying, "Oh, I just can't wait to watch them play this year"?
Okay, I can't wait to see the return of Jack Debrasini to the Waratahs. He'll be on the bench this weekend, but the 32-year-old, I think he is now.
Yeah.
I'd like a giant 10 because they're so rare. You know, like a big, towering number 10 who can kick it a long way, and he's got such a beautiful passing game as well. So Debrasini's return alongside Max Jorgensen. I think Max Jorgensen's going to go off this year. I think he's going to go absolutely berserk in 2026. So that'll be my go from the Waratahs. You know who else I'm looking forward to seeing get a bit more game time? We obviously know Kalani Thomas is now a Wallaby, but we've taken McDermott out for a while. The nugget little number 9 who'll start this weekend, Sean. Mate, he's good.
Yeah, he's not bad. And so he's just come back he spent the back end of last year in Italy on loan with Benetton in the Erc.
Correct.
Yeah, there was a couple of, did John Bryant go as well?
There was another one. It was almost like
a couple of them,
almost a share situation. So yeah, no, he's got some European experience behind him now. So he's a good little player. From the Reds, Brumbies, I've got the team list in front of me. I can't believe James Slipper's starting this weekend. I thought that he would at least have got a few weeks off to ease himself into the season.
Slips has done a full off season. In the first time in a long time, he's done a full off season.
He's off his head. I don't know what he's thinking.
He's even said this week that he's kind of opened the door. Well, not opened the door. He's kind of left the door open to maybe play again next year, because he actually said, well, everyone thinks I'm retiring this year, but I haven't actually decided on that. I might have to decide soon, but I haven't actually decided yet.
Well, you know what? I don't think that's going to happen, because I think his better half's going to say, "Oi, pork chop, that's enough." That'll do.
Yeah.
That'll do.
You know how you said you're going to stop playing international rugby. Yeah, you didn't.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you can't bounce into this. Sorry. So I digress. As I say, so good to see Rory Scott re-signed, mate. I'm looking forward to seeing how this year, because we didn't see too much of him last year. He was injured for a while, I'm pretty sure. Charlie Cale, correct?
Yep. This will be his, he played a couple of the first games last year, and he had a lot of a lot of 24 off as well. So he's
He
only
did
played
after
a
making his
handful of
Wallabies
games
debut.
in 2 years, basically.
So I think big year coming for Charlie Cale, and just to backtrack, Trayvon Pritchard as well at the Reds. If he gets a chance later in the year, this teenager is a freak, like a freak. I was having a good chat to Shannon Fraser, who took him to the Global Sevens last year. He said, mate, this kid is up there with, like the biggest of big names if his talent's realised. So Pritchard, but so Charlie Cale, and also from the Brumbies, Declan Meredith at 10. I'm excited to see how Declan goes at 10.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are. He's actually older than people realise. I think he might even be a couple of months older than Noah Lolosio.
Yeah, no, he's been around a bit, eh?
He has, yeah. He came down from North Queensland, a good few years ago, and he's been plugging away in Canberra club footy. But he's good player. I still think we're not seeing it. We're not seeing it this weekend, but I still think there is a scenario coming in the not too distant future where both Declan Meredith and Tane Edmed start games. So Andy Muirhead's playing fullback this week. Tommy Wright's still early May seems to be the time frame they're all working towards, but I can certainly see Deck playing fullback at some point, even if just to see how it goes and to see how they both go on the field as a bit of a combination. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
As a little combo, so there's 2 from each of the squads, which takes us through the Western Force. Okay, and I'll go through the backs. I tell you what, I thought Mac Greeley was outstanding in 2025. Mac Greeley can, I think he's becoming more and more of a game breaker. Truly,
I agree with you.
Mate, he's really good. Really good.
And
again, he's
switched
quite low to the ground fast.
Yeah. Switched to fullback in the Super Rugby Oz series and just relished the open space. Like, he's always been a really good, able to get involved winger, but suddenly he was like, oh, this is great. I've got more room than I know what to do with here. And he was really dangerous.
Quality player. Also looking forward to seeing how George Bridge fits in over there in the West. We know Benny Donaldson is likely a starter, but the utility who was probably the find of Super Rugby AUS last year, Max Bury, had a massive run of games in Super Rugby AU last year. So looking forward to seeing what he can deliver for Simon Cron over there in the West. So there's 8 for you, buddy.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Nathan Hasty, the scrum half.
At number 9,
the Highlanders too. Yeah, I'm keen to see how he goes. There's some good names in there. That's a good shout. I'll throw another one at you.
Hit me.
Lockie Shaw, Brumbies lock, is going to.
Yes,
he'll do a lot of running their line out, I think, this year. So Nick Frost is not playing this weekend, and I think they're just maybe easing him into things. He had a pretty big 18 months with the Lion series and everything last year and everything before that. So I think they're probably just taking it a little bit easy. They've got young bloke Toby McPherson on the bench that there's been big raps on. He was a junior Wallabies captain last year, the year before, I want to say. So they're excited to give him a debut this weekend as well. So, but Lockie Shaw, all of a sudden he's just sort of been eased into the program a bit. He'd play off the bench a bit, and I reckon he started 8 or 9 games last year by the end of it, and he's just ready to go now. It's all the echoes of how they brought Tommy Hooper through, funnily enough, as well. Yeah.
He's sort of a different build to Tommy Hooper. He's a little bit more lean, and I don't say that in a
no.
To like a real monster.
He's closer to Nick Frost a couple of years ago. Frost
correct.
Sort of beefed up a bit.
Correct.
He's closer to Nick Frost a couple of years ago.
Very athletic, great at line out, and excellent at restarts as well. Yeah, like that shout.
Yeah, that's a good one. What do you still dread a little bit about 26? Because as excited as we get about new season, there's always something in the back of the mind. There's always
something. I'm dreading injuries.
Yeah,
I'm dreading
Yeah.
injuries, not just for the Aussie guys, but for the entire comp, because it can just
Yeah.
suck the wind out of everything so
Yeah.
quickly. So certainly injuries. I hope each of those 9 teams in their squad stay deep for the
Mm.
duration of the competition, because I mean, is there anything worse than having a team's hopes essentially go up, let's say a month into the comp, because a bloke does an ACL and another bloke pops a shoulder and another guy
Yeah.
does an Achilles? Like it's the worst. It sucks. So
The
that's my only level of dread. I just love to see, obviously all of them, but maybe more so the Aussie teams, stay injury free for the duration of the year.
Yeah, no, that's a good shout. You've only got to look at what happened with the Hurricanes last year. Were going pretty well, and then Cam Roigard
Yes.
does his knee, and they just sort of went, no, done. Queensland, I mean, they signed fly halves in bulk late last year. We wondered how many they needed, and then we did find out that 3 of their 4 number 10s are currently injured. So that's why they had them in bulk.
Yeah, yeah. So just to recap, because it's been such a crazy off season, and amidst those signings, so Tom Liner, tick.
Yep.
Carter Gordon,
Yep.
tick. Harry McLaughlin Phillips,
Yep.
tick.
Ben Volavola.
Who's Benny Volavola, who can play 10, 15 and wing too. So
yeah.
And Kissy needs them. He needs them early.
Yep. So Harry McLaughlin Phillips starts this weekend by virtue of still being fit. and
last man standing.
Last man standing, literally last man standing. So, yeah. Like, I'm with you on that. We don't want injuries. I'd love to see New South Wales actually build into the expectations that are there and that will grow. I think if they get a bit of momentum behind them, but at the same time, what we don't want to see there is any lingering doubts, because that will just bring more conversation about Fight Club. Which of course we're not allowed to talk about.
I still can't believe how that all played out. There's so much still left.
Just
to
one
unpack.
of the craziest things you've seen?
Yeah, it's up there. I mean, obviously guys scrap at training and the rest of it, but just the aftermath was right out of the box. I did not see that coming at all. And I've spoken to our colleague Ian Payton at length about all the aftermath as well. And it's almost too crazy to be true, really. But look, they've got through it. And as you know, through your many years of covering the Brumbies in Canberra, and you know how hard an edge Dan McKellar brings to any team that he coaches, and you saw that, I was sort of trying to backtrack, and like before you commentate a game, you're trying to have an idea as to how it may play out. I think we could be in for a bit of a low score, not a grind of a game, but I've got a feeling, despite the new rules and the rest of it, it could be a low scorer on Friday night because of the Waratahs' willingness to just dig in and scrap and fight. I mean, I still, mate, you think back to how they rolled that squad out against the British and Irish Lions. And this was not the strongest Waratahs team, as you know, as any fans know. And they hung in there and dug in and fought and scrapped and nailed and kneed and grabbed and scruffed their way to almost an upset win. And that looks like that kind of has continued on through Super Rugby AU. I know we had the shootout against the Brumbies the other week in the trial, but I just think there'll be a hardness to that team in 2026 for longer periods of time under Dan McKellar. So that blow up, the was not unexpected, but I think long term it might actually suit the Tars a little bit.
Yes, and publicly they certainly said the right things. Look, it's not the sort of thing that we want to see on the training track, and we've got a little bit of work to do, and everything's good, and there's no lingering animosity behind the scenes. I can't help but think that former loosehead prop Dan McKellar might have just been going, how good.
Yeah, I tell you what though, of the great many people that you could square up to, like, I probably would not have Miles Amadasero at the top of my list, because if just one of his punches gets through, chances are you're not getting up.
No, there's a bit coming behind
for
it,
the bravery on display by Angus Scott Young for mussing up and for shaping up. But he would be a long last, I think, in my list of Aussie rugby super players that I was going to square up against. I just could
Yeah.
not think of a worse man.
No, it's a fair point. I think what the Waratahs would love nothing more in the coming weeks is for Miles Amatosero to get the little offload away. Angus Scott Young burst through, try. They come together, celebrate the try. Look at us, we're all good again. We're all happy. So, yeah, that's what the Tars are playing for. It's a big weekend, mate. It's a big weekend. I'm looking forward to it. It creeps up on you, but then it's like, oh no, we're really good. We're really good to go. So it's going to be fun.
It's gonna be as I said, it's gonna be a really, really good season. Starting this weekend, starting with going through your Substack stuff. Just run me through how the Substack works. So you've got the great Jeff Parks on board.
We have, we've been busy over the summer, and we've dragged you in. Sean is going to be part of our tipping panel on the Substack. Yes, so keep an eye on that on Friday. That will drop. The way I've described it, mate, is think about it as remember the old blog days, and everyone had a WordPress site and all that. Imagine if WordPress suddenly developed a bit of a Twitter edge to it as well, and that's basically what Substack is, because you can have a Twitter-like profile as an individual, but then you can have a publication attached to it as well, and that's what 8-9 Rugby on Substack is. So.
Is it easy to navigate for your listeners? Is it easy to navigate?
It is. Yep. So links in the show notes. It's jump on a Substack, search for there we are. Just jump on a Substack, search for 8-9 Rugby, and you'll find us easy enough. It's all over Jeff and my socials, all over the 8-9 socials as well. So yeah, we've been busy, but it's going very well. We've been a little bit blown away by the reaction, I must say, and the response, which is great. And it's another outlet. It's another outlet for rugby fans to come together and have a good chat about it. And that's actually what we're hoping for. So yeah, thanks for the plug, mate. We appreciate that.
And I know that Parks' wrap of a Monday morning would generate countless comments and replies and threads. I'm guessing it'll be the same in 2026, won't it?
Well, so far so good. We've been going 2 weeks, and that's the most read article so far. So,
okay,
so
good stuff.
Runs on the scoreboard and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Exactly.
It's really good stuff.
Shawnee's works all over Stan Sport. Obviously, you'll find him on the socials as well. All the shows start next week. Between two posts.
So Rugby Heaven will be there Thursday. What about Michael Atkinson?
TV's Michael Atkinson.
They're a strange type. Those TV TV types. They really are.
I sent Atco a message and just said, mate, I would still if there's room, I'd still love to have you on the pod. I presume you have people now to handle your bookings.
Oh, he's definitely got people. So Atco, who your 8-9 combo listeners will know as one of the faces of Stan and Nine's coverage, has made the jump over to the Weekend Today hosting position, which is a huge role.
Yeah,
like that's massive for Atco. He's done well there. So what'll happen going forward is Berkey will step in and host some game day stuff. Atco will still host Rugby Heaven. I think they've still got Inside Line running. I think Pado's still stepping in with Inside Line. And then Mondays we will do Between Two Posts, which is now the longest running rugby show on Stan Sport, which is kind of cool.
It's good gear. It's just good gear. Absolutely.
Turanui will return. Morgan Turanui will return, and then we'll sort of rotate in that third spot. So Michael Hooper, the great man, will be popping in from time to time. And he's getting, this guy is the acceleration in terms of how quickly he has picked up the nuance of broadcast is rather terrifying, to be honest. So he will step in. Berkey might rotate back there. Hoping to get Nick Phipps, the Green Rockets finest from the Japan, to pop back in when he gets a chance. Obviously, Shep's around too. Yeah. Cam Shepherd, who always has a shot and is good TV talent. So yeah, good crew. And then there's all the rest, but that's just for this week. But there's so much
That's
more.
just this
Swan,
week.
you know,
Right.
well, Swaney's there,
I
and
do.
then Wallaroos around the corner, and Alicia Lucas is stepping in, and Kiri Baker and Alana Ferguson, naturally, all that sort of stuff. So it just gets bigger and bigger.
Excellent. I love it. When you open it up for YouTubers, mate, you've got my number.
Yeah, you go. There you go.
There you go.
Oh,
Mate,
you know what? I'll get Akko to drop you a line. How does that sound?
Akko's people.
Akko's people can speak to your people, and then away you go.
Absolutely. Good stuff, mate. Great to catch up. Great to have a chat as always. Best of luck with the call this weekend. You've got a busy weekend ahead of you, but looking forward to it so much, mate. So enjoy. Call well. We'll speak soon, eh?
Awesome, mate. See you at 7:30 on Friday night at the City Football Stadium, and then Saturday night you'll have Andrew Swain steering you through Brumbies v Force with the rest of the game, including Justin Harrison.
Excellent. Good on you, mate. See you soon.
Thanks, buddy. I'll speak to you.
Great to have Sean Maloney on the Oz rugby scene on 8-9 Rugby in 2026. He'll definitely be back throughout the season, and I can't wait to keep the co-hosts coming every week. I'll just pop those Super Rugby games up again this weekend. So Highlanders Crusaders in Dunedin to kick us off on Friday night. It's followed by the Waratahs Reds in Sydney, and then on Saturday, Fijian in Drua against Moana Pacifica in Lautoka, Blues Chiefs in Auckland, and then the weekend finishes with the Western Force and the ACT Brumbies over there in Perth on Saturday night. This week also on 8-9 Rugby, Hugh Griffin joined me for a look back at the first weekend of Six Nations and how those results might or could or will influence things in round 2 this weekend. So make sure you do go and check that out. 8-9 Rugby on YouTube, plus wherever you pod, obviously. And have you found 8-9 Rugby on Substack yet? Jeff Parks and I have been busy over the Australian summer, as we said. They're just talking with Shawnee before, building up a new outlet for rugby coverage down this way. And we hope that you will join us and also join in the discussion. We've got some great contributors starting this week, including a really handy explainer on the new law variations that are in play in Super Rugby Pacific this season. That drops on Thursday. So find us on Substack. Subscribe now to the new exclusive home of Jeff's very widely regarded and well-read column, The Wrap, every Monday. Plus plenty more great writing for the rest of the rugby week as well. That, though, is another episode of the Oz Rugby scene behind us. A huge thanks to Sean Maloney for joining us once again, for joining me once again. Tell me what you think. Tell us what you think by finding 8-9 socials on 8-9 on the socials. You can have your say right here on the 8-9 YouTube channel, and you can find me on the socials as well at BMC Sport. This is the Oz Rugby scene on 8-9 Rugby, and we will be back in your ears next week.